Hey, Margie here. There's something you may not know about me, and that is that I'm very spiritual, and I always ask the universe for guidance, clarity, protection. And this is something that's available to all of us, but so many of us just aren't aware of it. And it's something that I use all the time myself, but also teach my clients and patients. And we're going to delve into this today with our very special guest, Kourtney Levens. And for over 15 years, Kourtney has been a spirit advisor and angel communicator. She uses her divine gifts to help her clients align with their higher purpose, increase their life's fulfillment, and contribute to doing good in the world. As the founder of the Spirit Whisper program, her inspired advice has supported her clients to tap into their natural, intuitive gifts and determine their strengths so that they are awakened and ignited to make significant life changes. And this is very powerful, whether you use it for your own healing, to make decisions, it can just add another dimension to your life. So, Courtney goes into really how we can tap in and gives us some ways that we can easily put into our life. So, stay tuned. Welcome, Courtney. I am so happy to have you back on the podcast. You have played such a big role in my life and helped me so much. And this message is really life changing. And I just felt it was time to share it with everybody listening. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Margie. I love you. I love your energy. It's always such a high vibe. And I love your audience. They are, it's kind of like my home away from home. They're just so enthusiastic and they love this. And you can feel that energy. So thank you for having me.
So it's interesting. I always like to hear briefly the backstory so people understand because you didn't start out with any of this, the job you were doing and your life was very different. So how did you find out you had this gift that's so amazing?
It's so crazy. Um, Looking back on it, I've always liked angels and even, oh, I read horoscopes for fun, and, my mom always collected angels, and my grandma did, and we had angel books, but it wasn't until I started hearing music and voices, and one night, I was sitting in bed reading a book, and I started hearing this beautiful music, and I tried to see if I could get the melody, right? What song is this? And there wasn't one, and it seemed like the more I tried to listen to it, it would disappear. So I'd go back to reading and I could hear it again. And one night in particular, I was reading in bed and my neighbors were having a party. They were having a party that was so loud. I could hear it. It interrupted me reading. And I thought, oh my gosh, there are going to be people standing in my yard because this party is so loud. There must be cars up and down the driveways, the streets, everywhere. I mean, there are going to be hundreds of people. So I crawled out of bed because I thought, why did they not invite me? I'm single, and they know I'm single and I should be invited to this party, right? So I crawled over to the window and pulled back the blinds, and there was nobody there. My yard was empty, their yard was empty, the streets, nobody. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind. I know I heard people talking. So I did what any good little girl does, and I told my parents, and they said, turn off the radio. You've got the radio playing in the house. I was like, no, that's not it. So then I decided to go to the doctors. And they did what they would normally do. They said, you're hearing voices. Okay, let's give you these medications to make it stop. And it did, right? But even though I was fighting that and not understanding what was going on, looking back on it, I know it was my angels and my guides coming through because my mother had just been diagnosed with tongue cancer. And it ended up the chemo actually ended up taking her life. So they were there really to let me know that they were supporting me through this time. Didn't know it at the time. But the loss of my mom made me go, you know what? I want to talk to her. How can I talk to her more? She was my best friend, right? And you women out there with daughters, you can attest to this. You know how you become best friends when you get a little bit older. So I needed to talk to her again. And I found out that there was this course I could take to learn how to be an angel reader, to learn how to communicate with the other side. And I said, I'm there. And Not the smartest move, not the ideal time, but I quit my job working at the family business and flew out and took this course and decided that's it. I'm going to learn how to talk to angels. But really, to answer your question, the backstory was I started hearing music and started hearing voices. Now the voices weren't nefarious or telling me to do anything bad, but that was really what started it and led me to looking into it more and more. It was only after I learned that I could communicate with the angels that I realized they were there to help me and to support me during this time.
I love that because they are there, and a lot of people are completely disconnected. I never would tell my patients or anything that I was very into spirituality and that I did. I always asked for guidance and support and help, and that it's been a major factor in my life. But once I sort of led on to this, I couldn't get over the miracles and how people healed quicker and got answers to their questions. So when you incorporate this piece, your life changes dramatically. And so why don't you just fill us in a little more about how we can communicate? Are we all able? Do we all have angels? Just fill us in a little more on the information. And then what I really love you to do is really share the best ways to get started and to really begin communicating. Because I get signs every single day. It's amazing. And it's just really changed my life in such a positive way.
You said it. It is a piece that you almost can't explain. I was talking to one of my clients before this, and she said, "Courtney, I've been listening to your coursework, your angel school." And she said, "I'm gonna cry." She said, "I've heard you say we all have angels because yes, no matter what you've done, everybody has angels, and they're never gonna leave you. Would they like to have that relationship with you? Of course, and they want to build that rapport. But maybe you've walked in somewhere, maybe to a church, maybe to a wedding, maybe to a kid's track meet, and you've walked in and maybe even gotten a little emotional. Maybe your eyes just welled up with tears, and maybe you didn't know why. Do you know that is a sign from your angels, from your guides, from spirit? They're there and that they're supporting you and supporting the kids at the track meet, and you are feeling all of that. And sometimes that is our first indication that, hold on, why am I crying? I don't even know why I'm crying. What's going on? What's out there? Right. So that's your angels, that's your guides. And they want so desperately in such a loving way to be a part of your life. You know, they're here to help us. They're here to provide wisdom, encouragement, support, love, that confidence to really nurture us along our path, to clear the path for us. And by starting to acknowledge or maybe even ask for their presence to be felt or to be heard or to know they're around a little bit more, that helps perpetuate it. That helps get you comfortable with them. And one of the things that I love the most is, like you said, asking for signs. So being single, I needed to ask for signs on whether the guys I was dating, if he was the one, because that was just on the forefront of my mind at that time. And my mom had always believed in signs. So just like mom, I started asking for signs. And this is one of the fastest ways people can begin to understand the depth of their angels being around them and that they really are around them. It's by asking for a sign. Hey, if y'all are around me right now, touch my shoulder, touch my nose, touch my head. And what's so interesting is you think there's no way I could forget that I asked that. I remember the first time I did it, I was at work and I said, "Oh, yeah, yeah, angels, if you're around, touch my shoulder." And within 30 seconds, I'd forgotten that I asked it. I'd gotten busy and I kept thinking that my hair was hitting my shoulder. And I was like, "I put my hair back in a button. There's nothing touching my shoulder." And you know what? Oh, yeah, that was like angels. So it was so quick and so instant. So I got smarter and I said, "Okay, don't touch my shoulder, touch my nose." And I thought I was being really, really, you know, this is going to be, without a doubt, I'm not going to forget this. Went back to work, had a customer, and I walked into my manager's office. And I had been rubbing my nose and itching my nose so much that my makeup had come off and my nose was bright red. And he said, Kourtney, what on earth have you done to your face? Your nose is just bright red. Do you have allergies? And I said, no, it's like something just keeps tickling my nose and it's itching and I don't know what's touching my nose. And then the dawn came up like thunder and I went, here. So ask for a sign. Ask him to give you a sign to let you know they're around. If I were to get on a call with each of you in the audience, I could tell you the way your angels are communicating with you right now. And we don't have that time, but there is a way for you to find out about that. And how are they communicating with you? Because they are trying to communicate with you. And sometimes it's by touching us. Sometimes it's through numbers on a clock, or hearing the phone ring, or walking into a place and getting a funny feeling about stuff. So they are trying to communicate with you. And asking for signs is a surefire way for you to build that rapport and that connection with your angels and feel that peace of knowing that they're around.
So a couple questions, because you've taught me actually that they don't have you have free will. They can't just enter your life. It's so explain how that works in terms of you need to ask if you want help.
So true. So think of your angels as this army standing around you, just lovingly waiting to help you. But they can only intervene if it's a near death experience and it's not your time to go. We've all heard stories of someone I fell asleep at the wheel and was headed straight for the telephone pole, and my car appeared back on the road magically, right? Yes, those are your angels. It wasn't your time. So that's when they can intervene. The other time is when you ask. And you can ask, angels, help me with this test. Help me find this job. Angels, where did I leave my cell phone, my purse, and my car keys? You can also ask them for guidance. Angels, I have a question about this, and I really have been wanting to know the answer. And you can ask it out loud. You can think it to yourself. You can write it down. And what's so interesting is so many of my clients, they say, I didn't even realize I had asked for it. Maybe it was a fleeting thought, or kind of like you might see a commercial and go, kind of likely have that for Christmas. And then you go about your business. You almost forget, right? But by thinking or saying the word angels, you've just called in part of this army that's ready to help you immediately. You may sense it or feel it. You may not notice the difference at all. But by asking for their help, asking them for things like for guidance. Hey, I'm fixing to go to the grocery store. Will you help me find that parking spot? The one so I don't have to walk all the way from the back. Because really, your angels are here to help you live your life with joy, with happiness, right? The most important thing, that happiness and joy, right? But if you're driving around in that parking lot trying to find a parking spot for hours on end, that's not joyful. That's not bringing about happiness. So angels, help me find that parking spot. Angels, help me choose that line at the grocery store that moves the fastest. That's always really cool. Angels, I've got to find a dress or an outfit for an upcoming event. Help me walk into that store. Lead me straight to the perfect fit, the perfect match, exactly what I'm looking for. They might even do it a little bit covertly. It may not be that they lead you to the perfect outfit, but maybe they bring along that helpful person, that store, that assistant manager, that associate who comes in and says, I have the perfect thing. It hasn't even been put out on the racks yet. Let me go get it for you. Right?
So let's talk about more serious. So people with osteoporosis and they're confused, they don't know what to do. So if they're trying to look for clarity, that's where you can ask for clarity for the right people, the right healing team to help come in, those type of questions?
Yes. Ask for clarity. Hey, this is the job my daughter is looking to get. If this is the perfect job for her, let her get the job. Or, hey, maybe she should be staying at her job. Can you all give her some clarity or give me some clarity? Give me the right words to say to help her. Yeah, clarity is a big one.
And
What's
so
the best?
clarity in terms of a condition as well. So for people trying to improve their bones and they don't know who to come to and the doctors, so just asking for clarity and guidance.
Asking for clarity and asking, go ask for that sign again. Hey, angels, I'm choosing between these two doctors. Which one's going to be better suited for me? Which one am I going to like better? Which one am I going to get along with better? Right? Ask for clarity, ask for a sign. I did this when I was choosing daycares, and I walked into the first daycare, my little 6-month-old baby. And I said, okay, angels, y'all need to make it unequivocally clear, abundantly clear. I need to know without a doubt. I walked into the first daycare and she was showing me around. It was like, oh, that bleach smell is kind of strong, but no big deal. And then we got back to where they had lunch. And one of the little girls had come out of the room and had taken a French fry off her brother's plate and run back in. And the teacher got onto her and yelled at her. It startled me. And I was like, oh gosh, she raised her voice, right? New mom, freaking out. Went to the second daycare, walked in. There was nobody at the front desk. Okay. But when I looked over, there was an office, and this woman had this baby on her shoulder, a cold washcloth on his forehead, and she was on the phone. And she nodded to me and was like, give me just a second. I said, okay, great. So she hangs up, comes out, and I said, oh, is your baby okay? And she said, oh, no, this isn't my baby. This is one of our students, 2-year-old. But I was just trying to call his mom to let him know that he's not feeling well so she can come get him. But he's just more comfortable laying on me. So I'm just going to hold him until she gets here. Oh my gosh, decision made, right? They let me know unequivocally without a doubt. This was the daycare I wanted because who would I rather leave my child with? Yes, this one, the owner, the director is holding this baby that was running a fever. So yeah, getting clarity on things like that. They are ready to help you with anything.
Yeah, I love that. In terms of signs, my mother actually, maybe it's not my mother. I always get white feathers, and I know I'm on the right track, and it happens. Can we ask for a specific sign, or we have to sort of leave it open?
I love having specific signs. Okay, angels, drop the pennies. Mom, send me pennies. Let me know that you're okay, that you're thinking about me. And there will be times that even songs will come on the radio and I'll get messages from that. But at the same time, use your own intuition. When you find that penny, when you find that feather, what does it make you think of? Does it make you think of Uncle Joe or best friend Susie Q, who's on the other side? So trust in yourself to get that information of who actually sent this message. But when we ask for signs, we can say, okay, angels, I've got a pressing question and I need an answer right now. Like, let me know if this daycare is the best. But okay, but what about if it's something that I don't know? Right. So one of the things I'll teach my students is get a code word. Ask for a code word in a song. Mine's real original. It's the word angel. So, angels, if this is the best thing for me to do, I'm going to turn on the radio and I want to hear my code word in a song. And that's going to let me know I'm on the right path. That's going to let me know this is the decision I need to make. So, that's very specific. Now, remember when you ask for a sign, you'll always get the sign within 24 hours. And if you don't, it just means you missed it. So start over again. Ask it in a different way. One of the things I've found, especially with the radio, is because I'm not in charge of what is being played on the radio. You can still change the radio station and punch through, but when I find that I want to hear my word, I am aggressively searching and seeking for songs that will have that word in it. If I don't really want that answer, turn the volume down. So be sure to phrase it in a way where you are actively seeking and searching to hear your code word.
Yeah, that's so interesting. It's funny, you had come to a class of mine, and you did a program with everybody, and my aunt was on the call, and you had said that when you go back to your car, turn the radio on, and she turns the radio on, and there's a song that's never played on the radio that was my grandmother, her mother's favorite song, when she turned the radio on. It was so interesting. She called me after, she goes, "Oh my gosh." She was so excited.
It's so I love stories like that. Yeah, it's their way of letting you know, "Hey, I'm thinking about you. I hear you," because a lot of times we'll talk to our friends and family on the other side, and we go, "Are they doing okay? Can they hear me? Do they know that I miss them?" And so, yes, when they play that song for you on the radio, know that that is their way of acknowledging you, of letting you know, "Yes, I'm great. I love you. I hear you." Hey, even ask them to come to you in your dreams.
Yeah, I love that, and that's why I wanted you on here because this can really, really change your life, but you have to be open to it also. You can't if your mind is saying, right, you need to just get yourself grounded and be accepting and look for that and be open to receive. Am I correct about that?
Yes, and it's so funny you say this. So I have a client who is a scientist, a NASA rocket scientist. And as I was teaching her how to open up to her intuition and start communicating with her angels, I said, "Here are two things that you're going to do every night." And she said, "Oh, Courtney, I don't dream. I don't remember my dreams, but I certainly don't dream." I said, "Great, just do this every night." The next time we meet, she says, "I think I started dreaming." "Great. Keep doing this every night." "Oh, no, I don't dream. And I certainly don't ever remember my dreams. Just keep doing it." The next time she says, "Courtney, I am dreaming and I think I even remember part of my dreams." "Great. Keep doing this." "Oh, no, no, I don't remember my dreams. And I certainly couldn't ever have a dream that told me the future." Within a month's time, she went from not dreaming to now not only dreaming, remembering her dreams, but had a dream her sister was pregnant. Woke up the next morning, grabbed the phone to call her sister and tell her about this dream. And there was a text message from her sister saying, "I just found out I'm pregnant."
Ah,
Call
love that story. Oh, wow.
yeah.
Well, that's what I wanted you to share. I just wanted to let people know this is possible. Ask for signs, ask for guidance because look, we all have ups and downs. It's not the easiest world we're trying to navigate. So, but tell us, you have some amazing programs and things that you offer. Courtney, yeah, so just tell us what type of things are available to people who want to delve into this deeper.
Yes. So I'm so excited. We've had such an overwhelming response. It's just been wonderful. I have finally put together and have made available to the public. So you don't have to call me for a reading all the time. I have put together Angel School. And this process teaches you how to open up, how to find your ways that you are personally communicating with your angels and guides, how they're communicating with you. And Angel School opens you up. It teaches you who the angels are. Who are the angels with you right now? Plus, how to know exactly, without a doubt, if it's your imagination or if it's actual communication. This process is fantastic and it works for anybody. You could have had a near death experience. You could have never even known how to spell the word angel. It does not matter. It works for everybody. And it will teach you how to open up, how to use your natural God given gifts, your natural abilities that you were born with to open up and have a relationship with your angels and guides. And not just one way, but where y'all are communicating with each other. You'll learn how to receive signs, receive messages, and even get questions answered, not just for yourself, but even for others and family members if you want to do that. So, Angel School is a beautiful way for you to really open up to receive that divine communication you have been wanting to get for those questions that are just so pressing. And don't worry, there's nothing scary about it. Your angels love you. So don't worry about them waking you up in the middle of the night or finding out something that's going to be bad. That's not the way they work. They are here to bring you comfort, love, guidance, wisdom, encouragement, and support. Because after all, they want nothing but for you to be happy and to live a life filled with joy. So Angel School is the name of it. And you can go to my website. It's Kourtney with a K, KourtneyLevens.com. And there you will get the information on Angel School. And Margie, we're actually doing a special for your clients. We'll be sending out the email for you to give them where they can go straight to Angel School and look at all the information there, everything they get in these modules. Plus, they get 2 live calls with me where they can schedule and learn all about how they're communicating with their angels and guides. And I'll be right there with them to help them along the way.
Oh, that's great. So you know what I'll do? I'll put that in the show notes so everybody can just click in the show notes and get that. That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Kourtney. I've known Kourtney for quite a while now, and you've helped me and really given me so much amazing advice and throughout the years. So it's always such a pleasure to be with you. But this really changes lives, and I just wanted to share it with everybody because just be open and try some of the things that Kourtney said because it's so very powerful. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Margie. I love the work you're doing in the world. Love your audience. Mwah. It's been wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this interview as much as I did. And now have some ways that you can tap into spirit. Don't take my word for it. Just try it. Just be open and try it because I promise you it can add a whole new dimension to your life. The link to Kourtney's program will be in the show notes, as well as the link to my free Improve Your Bone Health Naturally mini course. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.